City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. Recording on a Sunday, not on a Monday, so we can get this a little quicker out to the public before City versus Villa. I'm Dylan, along with Mila and Grant. No guests. Tired of other people being on our podcast. I'm just kidding. The agenda: United, Spurs move on in Europa League as they have one finger on that beautiful magical trophy behind us. It's kind of the theme of the episode is everybody's still got hope. I don't know if hope's the right word for some teams too.
Hope is good.
Hope's good. Okay, we'll
hope
go.
Is bad, but hope is a good word.
Hope is what kills you. Then we'll go to Chelsea as they today had a second half comeback to keep their Champions League hopes alive. We'll then go to City, who are absolutely rolling as they steamrolled a pretty tough to beat Everton side 2-0 on the back of the youth. We'll then go to Villa, who all over Newcastle 4-1. And then we'll preview the best game that is going to happen this week, which is rolling City versus informed Villa at the Etihad in an important week for City. So let's jump into it. I have in our notes. I don't even know where to start with United. We're skipping Spurs. They're in my mind. They're kind
we
of
don't need to talk
final,
about
so.
them that much. I feel like if they make it to the final, we'll get Nick on to do a little something. But yeah, I think we definitely need to talk about that United game. I didn't watch a single minute of it, but just watching reactions in the chats. Yeah, I mean, most even the United fans turned it off.
Yeah, bro. Like I saw them all turned it off. I was like, "Oh, it's done. We're good."
Yeah.
And then when the chat was going crazy, I was like, "Oh, they must have equalized. they got 3."
Very,
so yeah,
very old
Dylan,
school.
What did that feel like? I mean,
I was at work the whole time, so I'm like watching on a laptop and then my phone, and I'm just like, oh, 2-0, like this is great. This is exactly what we've seen out of this United side in Europe. Like they just, for whatever reason, the slower tempo makes Casemiro look amazing, and they're gonna comfortably go on and win this thing. And then Garnacho misses a XG of like 0.96. Like literally just had to put it in the one spot that he put it, not to score. And that's when the game just completely flipped.
Mm-hmm.
They just got right back into it on two of the shittiest goals I've ever seen. It's 2-2. We get a red card. The game was madness. And then it goes to extra time. And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll just see out the game here. Have the control. And we'll just go on and get another one before pen. No. These fucking ding-dongs.
What about the Tolisso red?
That's what I'm saying. They got a red. Like,
is that an extra time or is that right before?
That was right before the end of regulation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he should have been off the
time. You usually don't even see goals in extra time. I feel like 90% of the time, to your point, it was just kind of it's both teams not wanting to make a mistake, and then it just ends up being penalties. But
obviously funny, just a funny game because then they scored 2. They scored 2 with 10 men, and I'm fuming because I'm like, what the fuck is what's going on?
Right.
Like it's almost a cardinal sin what they were doing. And like the fact that Leon didn't just go into usually what you're saying is if you go down a man and you have to play next time, you just set back. Yeah, you put all 10 behind the ball, you play for pens. No, they took it right to United and they scored 2 goals. And then I think there's only one team in England that can make something like that happen. Just replaying it, just word for word, the game, there's only one team that can make that happen, and it's United. As dumb as it is, Old Trafford has magical moments, and that's one of them. And
the fans were behind them the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, no
matter how bad it's been,
sport is like a drug. That is what I got from that game. Is this sport is a drug. It is like meth, like crystal meth, like fentanyl meth. Like I don't even know how to explain that to anybody who doesn't watch the sport. You go from you're like, oh, we're cruising to we fucking blew it to oh my fucking god, this is the greatest thing.
Lows to the highest.
So like no,
Man,
because the lows,
10, 15
the lows
minutes.
when you're in the situation that they're in is like, oh my god, this manager's not enough. We need to get rid of 80% of the team. You got a
Well, that's
all of a sudden it turns around. You're like, oh my god, Maguire, get him a new contract. Like that's
in
how
perspective
this goes.
of the season, yes, but just in that
Yeah.
freaking 20-minute
Unreal.
span in the game, you get comfortable. We're up 2-0 going like extra time. Boom, turn of a switch. Terrible scenes. I'm sure mentality low, and then another turn of the switch, and they're right back on top. Maguire game winner.
Again.
Bring back Slabhead.
I mean, you got to give so much credit to.
Sorry, I removed myself on accident instead of just taking off
Good.
my camera.
Got too excited.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Harry Maguire. I mean, the treatment that he's gotten over the course of his United career, whether or not some of it was warranted in terms of criticism. I mean, the mental fortitude that he must have to be able to produce a moment like he did on Thursday. But yeah, obviously I'm a hater, but that was special. That was fun to watch.
Like I said, I don't think there's many teams in the world that can pull off something like that. I think it's just I'm out of words for what that performance was. It's a lifeline. It's like you gave it away, but you got it back. So I'm happy they won. What a shit performance. Like
they could qualify for Champions League.
70 through 110, but fuck's sake, man.
Doesn't matter at this point.
No, it doesn't. It's just
as long as you guys win that trophy, that's all
that you
that
can
matters.
cling on to. It's life. It's life at this point.
United just having trophies every year. That's the new thing.
I mean, you can call it a scam on this one, but I think this trophy is important.
Absolutely,
you can win an FA Cup, but that's not going to get you new players in the middle of a rebuild. Like
this speeds up the rebuild
to their rebuild. If they don't get it, it's going to be really hard to bring in guys to offload some guys. Like I don't know, but they look like they're going on the right track in European football. So
it fast tracks their rebuild 100%. If they win this and get Champions League, they can sign whoever they want. They can pay Osimhen $400K a week.
About the Prem this year, if you guys make it to Champions League, then like you just write it off as like an adaptation season for the squad and Amarim. Like it looks really good right now. You just have to keep it.
Who do they have in the semifinal?
In Europe,
Bilbao.
They have Bilbao.
But apparently, the Williams brother has a hamstring issue. The good one.
Oh,
sorry, they're both.
Yeah.
They're bro. Come on, bro. Respect
Nico.
Yeah.
Nico's the one who's
more dangerous.
He's more dangerous.
You heard it here first.
No, they're a tough side. We'll preview that when it gets.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this is. We're saying that it's like a fluke and whatever. They're the United are the
only in Europe they've earned it.
Europe that haven't lost a game.
Yeah,
that's
they've been great in Europe.
Maybe the funniest statement of the season is that this United side is the only team left in Europe that haven't lost.
Yeah, they've been great in Europe. Some teams are just built as cup teams, though. You know, like
especially
the way United set up. They're very resolute in those games. It just feels like the mentality is different.
Yeah. The speed of European play, like when it gets to those competitions, is so much slower than the Prem. It's actually crazy to see, like going up against those Spanish teams and even France. And France is pretty similar in terms of the style of play. Like it's just slower. Like Casemiro is actually a viable option in these games.
Great. Yeah.
He's looked great in all of those games, and it's like, oh. So I mean, at least the puzzle pieces are starting to feel aligned. And I mean, if they had lost that game, there would have been shouts for Amarin's head to be,
No, yeah, of course, but
that would have been really detrimental to everything. Like on top of the already shitty season,
the way you guys would have lost that game would have been, I think, more telling than just losing the game.
Right.
You know,
agreed.
But then again, it has the opposite effect when you make that comeback like that. It shows that there's trust in him, and then the guys are still passionate enough to go dig one out and get the result.
Yeah. Now it's just that, like I was saying last episode, it's this competition. It's the only thing left for United. But the Premier League is
said it too.
the Premier League this is great. This is what I've been asking for, is play the youth and let's see some
Mhm.
good performances. Obviously, United lost to Wolves today, and it doesn't matter. Like
I didn't see the free kick though, but I heard it. I heard
Oh,
it
it's a
was a
world
nice
business.
free kick.
They had
But
one
I did see the Emram quote where he was like frustrated. He's just like, they have one chance, and they score the one chance.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
He's not managing games in which we should lose, but we don't have anybody who can score.
No,
So that's
it's been like that. Yeah.
But they, we're seeing the young guys come in. Amos has come in a couple games here and looked really good. There was a center back today that came in and was like our best player.
I saw he looked good. He had a high rating on the app, Dylan.
He did get a high rating.
Oh,
on the
white
app.
guy.
I can't.
White guy doesn't answer anything.
I don't know.
It's an academy kid named
Fredrickson.
And he played
nice.
He won 12 duels today. Like this is where in the Prem at this point, like giving these guys the opportunities to come on, show their stuff, and hopefully become some part of the squad next year. That's perfect. We're not gonna have a ton of money to build out the squad. We're gonna have money to build out essential pieces if we win this thing. So kudos to him. And
so many center
on to the next. I said that I was gonna keep my one clickbaity thing from the last episode to this one, and I'm willing to do it now if you guys are willing to have it.
I'm scared. I don't even know what it's about.
I think Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder in the Premier League.
What did you say like a month ago?
I don't know. I may have said he was
the best player.
I just know. I think that he's the best. I don't even know if it's necessarily close, in my opinion, anymore.
In terms of form, I think it's hard to argue that right now. Hard to not like argue against that right now. Because if you look at all the other guys that we were saying are up there with him, they're not playing that great. So
yeah, I mean, I think
the
argument is obviously team performance, but I think in the Bruno case, it almost helps his individual argument, which is crazy because he doesn't play like an individual really. Like he's really trying to drag this team anywhere, but it's almost in hindrance of the other 10 players on the pitch versus other players who've had really good years. Like not to name names in particular, but just Gravenberch is one that comes to mind who's been really good this year. But I think a lot of it has to do with the people around him, which is totally fair. Yeah. It doesn't take anything away from how good he's been, but that helps his case versus a guy like Bruno. It almost helps to see like the almost the trash around him and what he's been able to do. So I think it's a valid argument. I think there's guys in the conversation for sure.
Are we a relegation team if he's not in the
yeah,
right?
Oh, yeah. I think he might be like already relegated without him.
Yeah, the whole new teams coming up being really bad is a problem in that argument. But I think in most years, yes, I think in most years,
damage to United if they don't have a Bruno in the squad.
Oh, it's still dangerous right now. I agree, but I think in past years where it's more of a fight at the bottom, yeah,
it's it's crazy. I don't think I've ever said that the best midfielder is playing for a team in 14th before. And I know that he's on my team, so I'm biased, but like
he's been that level.
So
we've seen him do it at both levels is the thing.
That's
when you
fair.
guys are like competing or trying to compete for stuff, and then at this where it's still very evident that he's got so much impact for your team. And like I was saying, like there's not enough consistency from those other guys that we compare him to within the league. Like if we want to just say like Odegaard, KDB, Palmer, though if we're calling him a 10. None of guys are
not right
now to even come close to comparing to him.
What are the other names in that conversation that we haven't mentioned? I think Gravenberch over the course of the years in there. I think
like there's guys that I don't know. Like what?
Who else?
I guess if you're doing overall midfield, then yeah, I think Caicedo's close.
But the issue is like none of the guys.
He's not a 6. It's more of an attacking. Yeah.
Like they're integral to what they do. Like Caicedo is Chelsea's MVP, like without a doubt, and he's been one of the best midfielders. But like, it's not the same. Like if you were to chuck Caicedo into this United squad, I don't know.
It doesn't help him that much.
You know what I mean? No. So I don't even know who else would be in the conversation. It feels like it. I was thinking about this a while ago. Where it's like, okay, like maybe he's just in like a top 5 conversation, but this year it's kind of just catapulted him to being.
Well, he fixes the United's midfield is weak and their attack is absolutely, they have no goals in it. So he's solving 2 huge issues there in one role. I mean, Caicedo, I think you can argue, does a similar thing, right? Where it's like in possession, he's huge and really building out the play, and defensively, we know what he does. So I think it's that type of thing where they can affect 2 phases of the game. But I think Bruno, I mean, it is such an ask because their attack is just so awful. To go along with the midfield issues, like that's 2 huge things that he's covering for. So I think you can give him the edge because of that.
The idea that he's also the captain and has to burden the worst team in United's history.
Oh yeah.
It was also incredible. Like,
And
Maguire,
he's a notoriously hated player too. And throughout the league, I feel like most rival fans do not like him, and this would be a perfect opportunity to just jump on him. But even most rival fans are giving him the respect that he deserves because because it's just like, wow,
respect
like fair
around the league.
Absolutely, us, me included, for sure.
Football,
yeah. Okay, well, that's good for United. I mean, we're not going to talk about them in the Prem like the rest of the way through. There's zero like.
Unless we see a breakout from one of these young guys, then I don't really see the point.
The Cheeto hat trick, we'll have a conversation.
But if like exactly something like that, a Cheeto Obi hat trick. Eden Heaven looks like the most dominant player in the world, maybe. But
we'll talk.
It'll be sidelined conversation. Where it's a part of another team's topic because the title race is really what's important for the rest of the year. I mean, we have 6 games left.
5
now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, let's go to Chelsea. Grant, I'll just have you say your thoughts. I mean, you're fresh, a couple hours after the fact, so go ahead.
Yeah, man. Season has been salvaged for the time being. It was really grim most of that game, but pretty much a reverse of what happened Boxing Day. They got the goal early, and then we stole it late. The whole first half was really dry. I think Facundo's came on here every single time Chelsea comes up. He brings up how rigid we look, and I think he probably is sitting there laughing his ass off, thinking about how I was reacting to that first half because it was incredibly rigid. There was no movement. Reece was in the middle. Cucurella was the third center back in the setup, but it was just really stagnant. Jackson was completely off of it. I think even his movement wasn't good in the box. That was a tough watch. Reece didn't look up to it. I mean, he played 90 midweek against Legia Warsaw, which probably had something to do with that, but he just didn't look good today. He got caught on the ball that led to their goal. But the second half looked completely different. I thought from the start, Cucurella was getting forward a lot more than he did in the first half. Gusto looked more fluid in that midfield position versus Reece, who's kind of just locked in right next to Caicedo. Just felt a little more free. Sancho, I thought, looked really good, and he's probably been our best attacker the past few weeks, which is hilarious objectively. I mean, there's like 40-yard switches. He's just taking them down really well, like disciplined. I think he's been really good, and part of that has to do with the amount of numbers that are getting thrown onto the left-hand side when he's there, right? Cucurella, I mean, just bombing forward every single time, whether it was underlap and overlap, he was always making that run, or Enzo or Palmer. Someone was there to link up with him, and that's where you saw the success. And then shout out George, man. Saved the season. He fucking saved the season. I thought the sub came late, to be honest. I thought about like 60 minutes. I knew Jackson was just not on it. I didn't think we'd get anything from him. Thought that ran its course. And then Kunku, happily for me, was not on the bench. Tactical decision, which is not a shock to me. I don't think you guys were really too surprised either. I think he's been pretty bad for most of the season. Whether or not he's all to blame, I don't think we missed him in there. And George, just the instincts on that finish, just ball falls to your feet, hit it. We always talk about, at least Chelsea as of late, it's very tactical and rigid and slow build up, and just sometimes you have to have a feel for a game, and I think that's what it was today. The second half was way more intense, and then Neto with the winner again, instincts. That whole winner, I mean, it was Enzo and Caicedo both kind of near the touchline, 1-2, find the space, get it to Palmer. And then Enzo makes a run on the outside, just plays it in the middle, Neto touch and hit. I mean, there wasn't much tactical structure there, right? It was just getting a feel for the game and going to win it, wanting to win it. It was a huge win. I think if we lost that, even draw, serious doubts about top 5. I think those serious doubts are probably still there for a lot of people, me included. But it's in our hands. That's all you can ask for. This is a lot to build off of. I said it in the chat where when Fulham beat us, that's when the season kind of just went straight downhill. Maybe it's time it goes back up right at the end, right?
Yeah.
We ended last year well.
Everything
You got to beat Newcastle and Forest away from home, and today was our first win away from home in the league all year.
In 9?
Calendar
that's
year.
all year.
Calendar year.
Okay, yeah.
But the last win away from home was Spurs in the Prem. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't felt that way about a game since that one, probably, where like I was actually excited and there were no offside scares, the goal's a goal, but that's something that needs to be built on. I think Everton at home, we should be confident in getting that, even though they're still a tough team to really break down given our issues. But I think we should absolutely be able to take care of them. And then the last 4 is really where it gets tricky, but it's in our hands. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
If we want it, we can go get it. But I think similar to what I said a few weeks ago, whatever we end up in this year, we deserve it. Because if we want Champions League, we can go get it. If we play up to the standard, if we don't, we won't get it.
I think Everton at Stamford Bridge is going to be a good tester game to see where you guys' head and heart are for the end of the season. Because if like you said, if you want it, it's there for the taking. But Everton, with the way you guys play, it's going to be a tough matchup.
Tricky.
Yeah. So where the goals are going to come from, we do not know. But
George.
I mean, it could be. It's gonna
be
a hard thing. It's gonna be less of that tactical, get the ball where we want to get the ball, and someone's just gonna have to make an extra-legged run and throw themselves into a position to get something out of it, because they don't really give anything, Everton.
No. I think Cole needs to take a page out of last year's book when we played them at home.
4:30 a.m. too.
The 4 goals.
I'm gonna be back in town for that one.
I will not be up.
Yeah. I figured
4:30 is quite early.
If we win, we can go get coffee.
It's not my team. I'm not.
Yeah. If we win, we can get coffee. If we don't talk to me.
Yeah. No, the tester game is a good call. Like, was that last 15 minutes a flash in the pan, or was that the start of something?
I thought that whole second half, I mean, I was more disappointed after the first 10 minutes because I've seen it for quite a few months now where that first 10 minutes out of the second half does look positive. It does look better. And then you slowly drop off. The other team gets back in the game. They kind of die down for a few minutes, and then they'll start piling on chances. And we're even more stretched because we're just committing numbers forward. So that's when I kind of got disheartened. And then the sub kind of gave me a little bit of hope. But I thought it was more positive that whole second half. I remember even last year, this is totally a stretch, but we were awful against Villa away for a half and then tweaked it at half. And then that is kind of what kickstarted the rest of the season to really push on and move up the table. So hopefully, I mean, a lot of the players are still there. They kind of remember what it took to push through, finish the year strong. A lot more on the line this year, but optimism, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, you guys have been unlucky as well.
We're not even, I still don't know what the team were.
What
happens?
I don't know. I think we had a little lag there.
But, no, I don't. Okay. I think I cut out. Yeah, all you doing?
No, I was just gonna say that you guys have been on top of just not playing well. You've been a little unlucky. This was the first game that some luck kind of bounced your way. Like that whole George goal, like the ball's just bouncing around. It
just fell right to his feet.
And Kid makes a good finish, right? Like sometimes you need that. There is a little bit of just like this sport is doing you hard. Let's get some bounces. Let's have the right thing. Yeah. Look, I mean, in a game where Palmer is still not all the way there, and Jackson's not all the way there. For the 2 chances to fall and just both players lace them perfect, you know what I mean? Like that you sometimes you just
Needed
need
it
that in the Champions League
for a
push.
team who has not been clinical at all.
To have goals from George and Neto, who that was his what 4th goal on the
Known
season.
goal scorer Pedro Neto. That's George's first goal in the Prem.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
Good for Chelsea. I mean, I liked it from a neutral perspective because it made everything close again. Like, and assuming that I'm gonna assume that Nottingham beats Spurs tomorrow, but like this
on,
race
mate.
is
Never assume.
Come
Never
on,
I'm
assume.
gonna
you
assume.
Never assume.
I'm
I
assuming.
never expect teams to do favors. I expect Forest to get a result.
I just don't think that if Spurs were smart, they wouldn't be putting their injury-prone squad up against a team in the Premier League where the Prem doesn't matter anymore.
That's true.
Same with United.
Yeah.
Do they have Europa this week or is that next week?
It's next week, but are you really gonna?
Cool.
But are you really
No,
gonna?
I
play?
know.
You
They're
shouldn't.
in a very
Sorry, I'm
similar
just saying you
situation.
shouldn't. Look, if
They're in a
Spurs do
very
it,
similar
by all
situation
means,
as you guys.
fucking go for it. I'm cool
Oh.
with you guys running them out. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
But
what Angel do for sure. You remember how Angel's acting last year.
that's fair. So I mean, it's not a guarantee. I just assume that they're gonna win. But even if they
After
don't,
what I've said about them, I can't go back and be like, "Oh, they'll get a win for us, bro." I expect Forest to take care of them, but I really hope I'm wrong. That'd be fantastic. I feel bad for Forest, but that's the game.
yeah. Even if we're playing the what if there, I mean, just the jumbling, right? Like Chelsea go down to 6th, and then the 3rd through 7th is separated by what 3 points?
1.
Yeah, so Brighton, Bournemouth, Fulham all kind of fell out of that.
Yeah, very, very quickly. I mean, we were saying that in our preview that those first 4 games for all those
The
teams.
screenshots of the table were just too good at that point. We had to do what we did. Yes.
But I mean, these 7 teams have probably been the best 7 teams all year.
Yeah,
right?
in a year with a lot of parity.
Yeah,
in a year with a lot of parity.
But even with the parity, and like obviously you're throwing United and Tottenham out of that mix. I mean, over the last, I mean, outside of Forest, I'm not gonna count them. But in terms of projects and building teams and going in a direction, huh?
Theirs has been a project. It's quite the project, but
it's
a lot of projects.
Multiple, I mean, yes.
So you've got Liverpool who get a new coach and they're in first, right? And they're gonna win the Prem. And then you got Arsenal who are competing for Champions League now.
That was phase 6.
Newcastle after the bounce back, they're there, and then City's in the middle of a rebuild themselves. Chelsea are in a rebuild. This Forest team reshuffles their players every year, and then Villa. So it's just it's awesome.
Villa's been in a rebuild since they got rid of Grealish, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a little slower, but maybe a little more solid than some of these other ones.
Fair. Do you want to talk about the Enzo thing at all? I know you guys talked about it a couple weeks ago, but do you want to bring up your point that we were talking about?
How they were chanting wanker at halftime at our manager, and we ended up winning the game.
Based solely off of the substitutions that he made.
I mean, no. That was going into the tunnel as soon as the whistle blew before halftime.
No. But what I'm saying is that he ended up making the right substitutions.
Oh yeah.
Ended up
he did.
The game, taking off the captain.
Yeah, I would have taken off. I would have taken off Neto for Madueke, right? If you need a goal, in theory, Madueke is probably your best bet there between the two. But yeah, he made the right calls. I think going just back on what we said earlier, I think a lot of that had to do with the players more than it did the manager. Sure, maybe you can give him a few critiques. Maybe the rigidness was on him, his instruction. But I thought the second half, it just looked completely different. There's a different intensity in the tactics. It was the same setup, but now Cucurella, he was given the liberty to get forward. But everyone just looked more intense. They really wanted a goal. It's like smelling blood in the water. It just looked different. So I've been seeing a lot, and I think the fan base, for the most part, kind of has wanted him out for a little bit now, which I'm not there. I haven't been really that close personally. But I just think at some point, I think what you were referring to, what I said earlier, the project will boom. That's my personal stance. It's been that for a bit now. I just think there's so much talent, not just what's there now, but what's coming back next year and what's continuing to go along with them playing together for another year. I just think they're going to keep growing. I do think good recruitment, good management speeds that up, gets it to where it should be, which we've been saying all year. This team should finish in a Champions League spot, given all what's spent, given where we're at now, context, all that. But the perspective it's still there for me. So yeah, I'm still all good with the manager. I don't feel like that really solves anything. We're still this pressed as a fan base. Like, we are still in the Champions League spot right now, as crazy as it feels, because we haven't been good or convincing in months. But that's where we are right now. Like, look at what United did with their fans behind them. I know it's different. Like, it's in Europe and it's a different team. I totally get it. But look what happens when the fans are there, and they've been through hell for not even this year, but better part of a decade. But they were there, and I think they don't come back without the fans behind them like that. And I think the away fans today were fantastic, but at home we boo within 2 minutes. So it's almost as a hindrance that our fans are even there at home right now. But hopefully this gets them behind us for the rest of the year, because it's just a crazy situation. Like, I can't even believe it's that serious, but it kind of is at this point.
Yeah, the manager is an interesting one, because I agree that there's no reason to sack him or that even be in the questions. But with the nature of who he is as a manager, is you guys fast tracked the system, right? You went and got a guy from the Championship, and so there's going to be growing pains in terms of what the manager does. He's got to learn. That has to happen. Just as a player learns how to grow in a system, the manager also has to learn to grow. He's never managed in the Premier League. He's done it as an assistant, but never as the guy. And so I thought this was a big game in terms of just like, he finally got over the hump of like, I can't just stick with what I'm going with right now. It's not working. Like a halftime sub is a big call, especially if like, and if you're going to do it for your captain. Right? You're going to drag your captain off the pitch, and that's a big call, especially for a guy like Gusto, who hasn't been good this season. And that panned out perfect. You take off Jackson, who's your only striker, in place of how old is George? 19?
19-year-old who's never scored a goal in the Prem.
Those are big calls, but they were needed.
And Kunku not on the squad.
Yeah, those are all big calls. And in a bloated squad, in regards to next season, your squad's going to be even larger than it is now, right?
Yeah, of course.
These are going to continue to be things that pop up just due to the nature of the beast. So him being able to be flexible and make these changes, like, those are things as fans that I would be looking at. It's like, oh, okay, he understands it. Maybe he's going through growing pains in this period, just like the rest of the team is, but that's important.
And I think, I definitely should have mentioned, but I think part of the feeling had to do with us losing to Legia Warsaw at home. We were up 3-0 in aggregate, lost 2-1 in the second leg, and again, you advance, whatever. It's the Conference League. I still don't know the name of the team we're playing in the semifinals, respectfully. Like, it's not one of those teams you would recognize. That really pissed off a lot of fans. The place was under 30,000 as well. There were not very many fans at the game. So I think that really ticked off a lot of fans. They felt the type of way about that game, and it kind of dragged in, but this was super necessary, I think, beyond just this season. I think they would have kept him if we didn't make Champions League. We still might not, but that really could have made things turn sour fast, especially given that run-in. So I think,
yeah, that's fair.
It's in our hands, but I'm still on a shaky foundation in terms of how I feel and how much I can trust this team right now.
Yeah, you guys haven't put together a full 90 in a while. Like, we were putting in 45s or 15s or whatever, but not the full end product hasn't been there. The stuff we were seeing at the beginning of the year.
No, I think the last one I can think of was Villa at home in like December. Like, we beat them 3-0. Like, that was conclusive, start to finish, against a good team. That's the last one I could think of.
Yeah. Well, I hope for your sake, because I understand the beating, that you guys end up doing well. I have my preservations. Is that the word?
Oh, I've got my doubts.
My reservations, but
yeah, me too.
But like you said, it's in your hands. Look, you guys played the two teams in front of you, so
all you can ask for. I mean, if you beat Ipswich at home, you're in third.
Right.
That's tough.
Right.
It's been in our hands. So, like, yeah, point being, whatever happens, we deserve it.
Prediction for the Everton game. Considering every time someone plays Everton, you say it's a 0-0, but you're very confident on your team.
No, I'm not. I just said there's a shaky foundation. Well, I have to be fair, given the next 4 games we got.
That's why I'm asking.
Prediction? 2-0.
Because every time
2-0. Pulling the city. Respect.
Well, I mean, we beat them by 6 last year, so we'll only get a third of it. I'm kidding. I do think it'll be 2-0 though. I got to be confident in that. I think we're building off of something, and 12:30 kickoff local I don't like, but that's a team you should be beating if you expect to be in the Champions League. You have Everton at home. Fans need to help for sure, because I can absolutely see a lot of booing 10 minutes in. I see a world where that's happening. So
that game's gonna be boring for a lot of it.
I'm gonna be battling to stay awake, maybe.
Yeah, that game reeks of 1-1. I don't know why.
Yeah,
1-1.
Just Beto 90 plus 3.
Yeah, something dumb. It just reeks.
I'm not mad at you, but yeah, 2-0. Come on.
Fair enough. Alrighty, moving on to City.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mila.
I know we put rolling for the banner. I don't think we're rolling. We're just scraping by. We're scraping by.
Results wise, that's all you need right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if we weren't getting the results and we were playing like this, I'd be livid. Be
for sure
very angry. But with the introductions of certain players into the team, mainly just O'Reilly lately.
I won't say which players.
I think we've been a lot better, and I've talked about just like passion and heart playing for the badge in the past couple episodes. He's definitely a prime example of that. He's playing left back out of position as a more attacking midfielder, and he sees that we're going 0-0 in the 85th, 86th minute, and he's still making the deadliest runs into the box, and he gets himself his second goal in the Premier League. So he's just been really good in all aspects. He's technical. He does have a mistake in him, but he's one of the best players on our team right now that just forgets about the mistakes, short memory type thing. And he's just massive. He's 6'5". Like he ticks all the boxes that we need right now. That being said, though, I think Vardiol has been really good at center back, and again, just really intelligent in those positions, quick, can play the ball out. Nunes even had a good game, starting to look like he could be.
Why'd you make that face and delivery with Nunes?
I don't like him at right back, and the idea of it is like very strange to me, but he's starting to convince me right now. And other fans that he can actually play a role, not probably as the starting right back, but as a depth right back in this team. Ortega was really good. There were some, like, not the craziest saves in the world, but just staying headstrong and focused. There was one little header from, I think it was Branthwaite. The ball looks, against Ederson, it's going totally over his shoulder into the back of the net. Ortega stands there and just grabs it. And I was like, okay, this is all I need out of him, to just make the simple save.
Sometimes that's very important with a goalkeeper, and especially when there's question marks about some decision making from your keeper and your defense, to have someone where you just know he's going to get the fundamentals right, which hasn't always been the case for him, to be fair. He's had his moments of his bad patches with City, but sometimes that can be all you need, and especially a game like Everton where you just have to grind it out, do the right thing, and
definitely
be smart back there.
Yeah. I think the main part of that too is just his distribution on the day. There were multiple times where he'd get the ball, he'd do a little shimmy shoulder past the strikers trying to get in his way, and then just
he's been watching my tapes.
40 yards to a runner like a Savio. I think there was one play where Savio gets the ball off a Ortega throw, and he's gliding by everyone. He could maybe play KDB, but instead, Ganagay takes him down, gets a yellow. So we definitely got a lot of chances just from that quick break, which we have to do against a team like Everton. Moving into the midfield, I don't think anyone was necessarily good. KDB was disappointing. He could have had a goal. O'Brien got his head on it. It was definitely going in top left, but O'Brien did well to get in front. But outside of that, nothing really connecting. Gundo, he didn't look bad to me. He didn't look as technically on point as he has the past couple of games. But physically, he actually looked a lot better. Maybe 2 to 3 years younger, which was interesting to see. Another player that could definitely be in the squad next year, just extending with his player option. Nico G was okay, nothing special. I think I was most disappointed in Marmoush yesterday, though. A lot of wayward touches, bad decisions, couldn't keep the ball close to him, which against a team like Everton is you can't do anything, basically. Had a chance to score. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No. Do you think that had to do with the fact that Everton's just got like that's probably one of the biggest backlines in the
yeah,
right?
that O'Brien guy at right back as well. He was
They're
signed
big,
as a center back.
they're big, but
lad.
it was just I don't think so because it was his touches that were putting himself in those bad situations, not so like their physicality. You get the ball in space and take a 3-4 yard touch into the defender.
Gotcha.
I think he just wasn't on it. Oh no, you're good. Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, so I wasn't sure if it was like a not saying he's Hoyland, but in terms of like he was just trying to get into the center backs and like that shouldn't ever be his game.
That's not his game. Yeah, it's not his game. He knows how to play his game. It's just this is going to be the downside to him. Not every game is he going to have the greatest of touches. He's not uber technical in that way, but he's a killer. So when it comes to those moments, I expect him to put him away. He was gifted the chance I'm talking about. He literally gifted a chance to put us up 1-0. And as the main goal scorer in the team, he had to put it away. Pickford did a really great job of saving it, but if you guys do watch it back, you're going to be thinking the same thing, especially Dylan as a forward player. If you're given the chance that he got, it should go in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Wingers.
You're saying Dylan puts that one away, Mila?
Maybe.
Against Pickford, probably not.
No, especially against Pickford. I think Dylan makes sure that he puts that away.
I wouldn't score against any other keeper but Pickford. That's the one that's icing on the cake.
Wider players, Bernardo, fucking never again, please. He did help us get the first goal with a little pass to, I think it was Nunes on the overlap. But it's just so boring. Grant's frozen.
He is frozen. So wait, he decided not to go. It was so funny because I thought with everything Pep was saying, I thought he was going back again for sure.
Oh my God, that pissed me off so much. Like, yeah, I would love for him to stay. He's really good in goal scoring situations. Benched. No,
yeah, immediately.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
My Wi-Fi out for a little bit. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
you're good.
Cool. What did I miss?
I was saying that McAtee not starting was very funny after Pep went on that
because I was going to
tour.
mention I wasn't able to catch that game either. I unfortunately picked to watch Palace versus Bournemouth. I saw Bernardo right wing, but I was like, okay, maybe he's tucking in. And I looked at the heat map, and was it just touchline Bernardo? What was that? What was the situation
It's just him like standing on the ball a lot. There's no final product from him anymore, and I've talked about it multiple times. That used to be what his game was about. Like, yes, he could be in those positions on the wing, but he would dribble 2 to 3 guys and then get a ball in or a goal. And right now it's just very static from him, less legs. Like, he's still an intelligent player. He keeps the ball for us, but when he's playing that winger position and we need output, no Holland in the team, like, it's not cutting it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that type of winger can be of value. I agree, but kind of what you just described sounds like my frustrations with Sancho over the past few months up until recently, where it's like you can do that, but sometimes there at least needs to be a threat going forward. And I think if Nunez is consistently right next to him making runs and then other midfielders in that area, it changes things. But yeah, on its own, yeah, it's just a bit dead.
It's super dead right now. Savinho on the left wing, no good. No good.
I thought you liked
If
that earlier.
I did, but
yeah,
I think Holland needs to be in the team
when you
for it
can
to
cross
work.
to
Gives them more
Holland, that
options.
changes
Exactly.
things.
Yeah. Crossing to nobody is a lot different to crossing to the 6'5" Norwegian. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll alter the game plan ever so slightly, I feel.
Probably.
Yeah, I think I know people didn't like the way we set up, but I'm not.
I was looking at your running again.
Of it.
Not much to worry about, in my opinion. I think it's
we have important games.
Full focus is on the cup. Full focus should be on the cup.
Yeah, I think we got to beat Villa just because of the performance that they put in this weekend and how
that's the big game for you guys.
The table, but yeah, the next two games are definitely some of the bigger games we have.
Yeah, I mean, after Villa in the league, you get Wolves and Southampton back to back.
And we got Nottingham next weekend.
Right, so those are the two games your full focus should be on. Tuesday to Sunday, you got enough time to rest up. Don't need to really rotate, but I think in terms of top five, kind of the overarching conversation of the episode, I think City, the least of any team's concerns, other than Arsenal, obviously, who had kind of been second most of the year.
I still think we can go get second.
Yeah, for sure. But I think City, Liverpool, Arsenal, those are 3 spots guaranteed. So I think it comes down to the other 4 teams fighting for 2 spots.
I do think in these games, though, we're going to have to trust the youth a little more.
Yeah.
I understand Kevin being in the team, but he's just been so inconsistent lately. He's either looks like our best player or just a non-factor. But McAtee should be on the right wing for the rest of the season for me. Even if he's not putting away all of his chances,
he's shown enough.
He puts away one, and he gets a lot of chances lately. So
yeah,
and he's young. This is what he needs. This type of stuff. So I don't know. I get Pep trying to go for experience.
Every time I feel like he's playing, he gets at least like 2 chances.
Yeah,
to your point, like those aren't coincidences after a certain number of appearances.
I mean, a lot of our academy guys just get in good positions. It's one of the
they know how to play the game.
Yeah, exactly. The main things that stand out in our team is when these young guys play, they're always getting in positions. They see it before some of our more experienced players even see it, and they have the legs to go meet it. So I think that nice mix that we talked about last episode is where we're going to have to find it. If we have another unction like we did against Everton for the rest of the season, I'm not confident.
Yeah.
But and right combo is nice because if you can complement what Gundo can bring, what KDB can bring, I don't think Bernardo needs to play much the rest of the season, in my opinion. But
I was going to say, I think this can probably wait until we get to the preview because what we were just saying, there's only a few real big games left for you guys.
Right.
But I'm just thinking off the top of like attackers who haven't really been featuring as much, and you're the expert. I don't know the inner workings of who's playing and whatnot, but just off the top, Doku, Grealish, Foden, those are really the ones that come to mind. Like, are they in that best team for the big games at the end of the year?
I mean,
what are your thoughts on like who's doing what? Because I know with Foden, it's a lot. Like, it's a whole other situation, right? Like, it's been a long year, and right. But just Doku off the top, I mean, he always has an impact. Whether or not there's end product. Grealish, similar deal. Like, he's been inconsistent, but at his best, he's been very positive. Who's going to be in that attack in the big games?
I don't think any of those guys are starting the rest of the season. I'm not going to lie. Foden's mentally going through a bunch, physically going through a bunch, and he just came back from that injury, so he just came back to training. One person you didn't mention, though, is Akanji. I think he's going to play a huge role in these last final games.
Attackers.
He's back.
I understand that.
It's huge. That's huge.
Back,
so.
Oh, I didn't know he was back.
He played that last game. I don't think he got a touch of the ball, but he got on the
sub.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah. But he's an option at right back. He's an option at DM to slot in if he needs to. Not my big fan of that, but he can do it. But yeah, with Doku, like he came in, I think 16 minutes at the end of the game, but there was an impact there. Off the left, like he can definitely do a lot more with the ball than Savio. It's just certain decisions sometimes that show why he can't be playing the full 90. But he definitely has the work rate and the skill to make an impact off the bench. Grealish, I could see starting maybe 1 or 2 of the last couple games in the
What about him in
midfield.
the middle? Yeah,
Exactly.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah.
It would depend who we're playing. Obviously, I don't think it'll be any
Right.
of the more competent
Villa
competition.
revenge game.
Dude.
I digress.
No, if he was stronger mentally, yes,
Script.
because he's just gonna get booed the whole time, which also.
Oh yeah,
makes
that's a
no
tough
sense
one.
to me.
Yeah.
Am I
100
crazy
mil.
for thinking it's Foden? I know that he's had everything going on, but he finally kind of got some time out of the squad. You guys picked up results without him having to be kind of like in this side, but
yeah.
like Foden, like in a bench appearance, maybe like kind of gets going, and then
I don't know if Pep wants to put that on him right now.
I don't think, but
It
that's what I'm
seems
saying
like-
is I don't think there's any pressure on him anymore. I think him
I mean,
getting
there
the
is.
move,
There's
he's
hella
starting
pressure.
maybe I'm just not seeing it as
Relatively.
much as
He's
I think you're saying that relatively.
hometown boy. Like
Yeah,
this is his club, so I think a lot of that pressure probably is just
It's like
self pressure. Where it's like
self-inflicted.
you're
Yeah.
a fan, like you care actually what happens to this team, and he knows that what he did last year, on top of everything this year, like it's not enough. But this is where I'm trying to find some like middle ground and trying to understand that yes, he's human, he's going through some things. He also loves our club. So he's probably giving 100% of what he's got.
Yeah.
And we've seen what he can do when he's right in the headspace. So that's why I think he's just going to stay away from the team for the rest of the year. Maybe some bench appearances. I just don't see that that fire in him right
Focus
now.
on the World Cup, King.
That's World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, focus on that.
I kind of obviously me and Grant have been harsh on him this season, but like at the end of the day, like I want to see good players play well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. That's enjoyable. Is so long as it's not against my club. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day,
Yeah,
like,
that man. I owe a lot to Phil Foden. I mean, he won them the league last year in a year where Arsenal were very close. He was hooping. He did bits. Like I appreciate that. So yeah, I'd like to see him do that if push came to shove. In that context, yeah. But
I mean, yeah, it'd be great if he could.
Yeah.
If he could do that to close out the season, I'm just
for sure. I'm not asking for that.
No.
I'm expecting.
I think you're right. You're probably top 5. I think that's done. You want to win the FA Cup, but realistically, it's not the end of the world if you don't. Just fresh slate, come into next year, right? And you guys should be aiming to compete for the title. I imagine that's where you end up somewhere close to that. So yeah, you just need him right for next year.
These 2 games that are upcoming are really important, just from the sense of like the Wolves game is no longer an easy game. Like they're unfortunately
Wolves are a super team. I fear
they have 5 straight wins, clearly playing for something. But you know what I mean. Like so, it's no longer like an easy game. Will you take care of business? Most likely, but it's like an Everton. Like if you don't show them a certain level of respect and
we're at home. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like
I do. But like if after playing Villa and Nottingham, like I'm not worried about Wolves.
No, but like let's say in those 2 games, you lose against Villa and you lose.
They're not just
you're out of the cup. Points. Yeah, it becomes the pressure becomes a lot higher. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying that's gonna happen.
You have to think about it a little bit more, I guess.
Oh no, it's fine, guys. Like he chance hurt.
Yeah. Well, okay. No, look, the team that United played today. If you play them, you guys are gonna dog walk them. But you know what I mean? Like they're just. I don't think they're as bad of a team anymore. They're playing with some fire.
No.
And Cunha.
I got it right, Dylan.
The Wolves.
Yeah, finally they picked it back up. Yeah, I told you they weren't that bad, guys. I told you they weren't that bad. This was a matter of time.
Yeah. Jay, to be fair. Okay, let's talk the Villa game and then we'll do the preview.
Let's give them some love.
Yeah, they deserve it. I mean, we'll just kind of tack it on to the preview. I mean, Newcastle, the most informed team in the Premier League, no longer because Villa just right from the get go too. Dude. Right from the get go,
on them.
30
Newcastle
seconds.
Looked sloppy in the beginning.
That was that hangover I was waiting for. It came late, but it came a bit late, but yeah, they didn't look on it. They did not look on it. I mean,
I know
Villa kind of ran away from it right at the end, like kind of just bang right at the end. Almost it felt like just scoring those goals in quick succession, but they looked like the better team. Newcastle got that equalizer, but it felt like it was against a run of play. Villa were consistently getting dangerous chance after dangerous chance, and then they just put them all away around the same time. But that was conclusive. That was a very impressive performance to really tighten up this top 5 race even more.
I think Newcastle scammed us.
Go on.
I think I'm looking at these fixtures like the run of form they put in since that Liverpool loss in the league has been West Ham 1-0, Liverpool in the EFL. Huge.
It's a good one.
I'll give them that. But Newcastle 2-1 Brentford. Okay. Should win that. Leicester beat them 3-0. Should win that. Beat United. Should win that. Palace should win that. I think some of the score lines are why we've thought they've been in phenomenal form, but they've played a competent team and then they just got slapped up 4-1.
Yeah, but this Villa team also just took it to PSG, who have been.
That was a crazy game too.
But that's my point. That goes even further into my point is that Newcastle have played. You can even say more than competent. Villa's a good team, and then they got run out the park.
Yeah, no, sorry. I think I'm just at those are in terms of form. These two teams were meeting at their apex. Maybe Villa is a little bit past that. I mean, because outside of that PSG loss, they had won 14 straight.
They've been on a crazy heater.
1, 2, 3. Then they lost to PSG 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 of the
11 out of 12.
11 out of 12.
And what Newcastle's running is Ipswich at home. That's 3 points. Brighton away, which Brighton's also one of those teams where they might win 4-0 or lose 4-0. I think
Brighton have been so bad lately.
Games. I know, but they're just dangerous to me. I think they have enough quality to at least on any given day give you problems. Chelsea at home, realistically, they're probably favorites there. Arsenal away, but Arsenal have nothing to play for. Then Everton at home. So, some tough-looking fixtures on paper, but it's still in their hands too. I think a lot of teams are in that situation.
It's a tough time for Newcastle to have to find out if they have been actually
what they're really about. Yeah.
This super informed team, or if they were just doing what they were supposed to do. And now when the pressure comes, they've already won their trophy. They need to ramp up the intensity a bit, like one last time this season, or else it all goes out the window. Because if they don't make Champions League, it's over. That's the exciting thing about the end of the season is that so much relies on 9 of these teams getting Champions League, and there's 5 spots, which is still ridiculous. I know we were talking about it before. But 1 out of 4 teams in the Premier League will get Champions League.
Minimum.
But
might get another one.
We might get another one. That's ridiculous. But I do think that Newcastle could be a bit shaky towards the end of the season based on that. And that Villa, like you guys were saying, has been rolling and will most likely continue to roll. I think the game coming up is going to be very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Would love a draw.
I think for Villa, you got to, even if this game doesn't go in the direction that they want, I mean, the rest of their slate is as easy as City's. The last 2 games being Tottenham and United, who could be potentially playing each other in a final. Like neither of those teams are going to give a fuck. So those
the Rashford goal at United is gonna.
No, they can't do that.
They can't
You
play
can't
him.
do that.
Oh wait,
can't play him. He's on loan.
I know,
Pretty
but
sure they can't play him.
okay.
I
What is
don't
it? They
want
must
that.
be like
Cannot
Fulham's
happen.
not an easy. No, Villa do not have an easy run in. I mean,
Villa can take Fulham.
difficult. Bournemouth are difficult.
Fulham
City are
lost that
City.
form too.
Fulham lost their
Right.
form.
Yeah,
Bournemouth have
They're
been
still
poor.
tough, or we're shit. Maybe we're that
Spurs
shit.
and United. So
On
2
paper.
bottom half teams, 3 bottom. Is Palace bottom half?
Palace is the cup game. I don't really care.
Oh, is
Palace
it?
is-
No. Sorry.
Mhm.
That,
Yeah, you better apologize, motherfucker.
I didn't even realize that was a cup game. Yeah, no. I mean, they have an easy. I think that's an easier stretch than Newcastle or
It's
Chelsea.
easier than ours, that's for sure. Yeah, I think we toughest, but I think a lot of it's gonna come down to that Newcastle Chelsea game, and then probably Chelsea Forest too.
Yeah,
those are-
Forest.
the teams
in a bit
really-
of,
Well, that's last game of the year too. Chelsea Forest. Oh, that
yeah,
won't be
Forest really
fun.
They have to do
Oh.
their work the next
Nuncio was the one that could play.
4.
Which is crazy because it really. I know we keep
I-
saying it, but I totally thought they had it.
I did
thought they
too.
were good.
But their play style it allows other teams to be in games for.
Oh, absolutely.
Hard
They've
work.
won a ton of games 1-0. They have been really good at what they do, but what they do is risky in that
Law of
sense.
averages to a certain extent. Like
Yeah,
eventually those
yeah.
won't go your way.
Mhm.
Do we want to just preview the Villa game now? City? Do we want to do a combined 11 or do you want to just do predictions and stuff?
We can just chat about it, I think.
We could do the
Alright.
combined 11. It won't take that long.
Combined 11. Yeah, fair.
4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do I bring up the website?
Well, I think we should just start with John McGinn at the 10, Dylan.
You know, as much as I don't want to say it, he might be in this. He shut me.
I don't know where he goes, but yeah,
Oh,
throw him somewhere.
He's
still a
played good in
kind, but
2 games.
Bro, I don't even know where he's going to play. He's just going to go do what John McGinn does. You know what I mean?
He's their
gonna
cap. He's
cause
gonna be a
problems
non-factor.
somewhere. He's just going to run around but he absolutely does a job in that team.
What he's gonna shift off over to the right side and then have to deal with a inspired Nico O'Reilly. Not worried.
What about an inspired Ian Matson?
Tiny.
Yeah.
All
Why we sold him.
right. A second. Not letting ads be on the screen.
No free buckets.
No free buckets for these other
Except
damn it,
Verizon.
Verizon.
Get out.
All right. 4-2-3-1. Where are we at? What's up?
Well,
You can
I know you're gonna want me to flip it. But I don't know,
Please.
where do I flip? Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's killing me.
click the
There we go.
nice.
More
ads.
Anyways, combined 11.
Emmy.
Even though
Yeah.
he's so sus,
He is,
Yeah.
but he's
so
he's better
sus.
than Ortega. And
They're both the
Ederson.
city's keepers.
I mean, I'd take Ederson over him, but
I think I would too. I think he's super sus. Like that World Cup really did him a service. to his
Oh,
career.
dude, he's
No, okay,
got
okay.
top 10 PR in
Like-
the game, no doubt.
when
Yeah.
he needs to, he can be like
Yes.
so good and just destroy.
He has some
your
heinously bad
morale. But like he also lets in some very easy goals sometimes.
Is
Yeah,
Emi
only in games
Martinez-
that no one's watching, though.
Is he the first ever pen merchant at goalie? He's
No.
got to be.
Tim Krul.
He's just really good at getting in their head, so he makes a lot of pen saves, or he makes them miss. But
Yeah, no, but that's what
don't-
I'm saying.
I
Like
don't
that's
think
why
that's
people
all
think
he
he's a
offers
good
to the
goalie.
team.
Yeah, he took
He's
a
just a
masterclass.
He's a crazy South American goalkeeper. This is to be expected.
We'll give him it, I guess.
Right back's also spooky, to be honest.
Yeah, Matty
Matty.
Cash or
I mean,
Nunes?
Rico Lewis or Noonish.
Natty or
Yeah,
Kanji.
I've seen the Sassy play right back. Oh,
It's gonna be Cash.
Are
Cash
we
has
going
been pretty
Cash?
decent lately.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
on form it's probably Cash.
It's crazy. Where's your
I
jersey?
know.
Go get
No.
Go get the Matty Cash jersey.
Ruben Dish.
I haven't even been watching City closely like that.
I was gonna say
Has he
Gavardio
been good
or
lately?
I just
I would
wouldn't
probably put
Gavardio
Vardiol
at
and
the
Konsa.
right. Oh yeah, we could do Konsa.
that works for me.
Konsa on the right, Vardiol on the left.
Yeah. Konsa?
I think Mings deserves a shot. He's been good lately for the most part.
He's just solid
Villa
player.
get-
Pau Torres is. I didn't even
Short
realize Pau Torres is fit. Maybe that's recent.
Yeah.
because
He
played
plays.
Champions
He's been
League.
playing. Gavar.
Yeah.
GVA.
Nice, dude.
Come on, son. Oh shit! I
Left
thought it was-
back. Mila, is
O'Reilly.
that what you're feeling? You're putting O'Reilly? No, Luka
Yeah.
Dean.
No.
Because I think that's the
we're
only.
playing.
I think that's
We're playing the
only
out of position
argument.
kid, the out of position 20-year-old at left back.
It would be very
So I wouldn't put Mats in there
anti-podcast
either.
not to put Nico O'Reilly in this position.
I agree. I'm just naming the
We'd
other
have to
names for the
cancel the
sake
pod
of.
if we don't put O'Reilly there.
Yeah, we're putting
Yes,
O'Reilly there,
yes.
but you're right.
I know.
We'll
I'm
put
just
left
naming.
back to
I'm
his
listing the
position.
other names for the
They
sake
deserve
of the
shouts.
argument.
They've been all right.
They're the other
Oh.
this game here that we're playing. But yeah, fuck it.
No, you're right.
That's fine.
Oh, nice deodorant ad. Anyways,
I think Tielemans has to get one of these
easy.
spots.
I think so too, especially since Onana doesn't
to
start
be in there.
anymore.
No, Onana probably doesn't get in here. It's what between Kamara, Nico G, Gundo, Kova. We're not putting any
I
of those
think you
old
go
motherfuckers in.
Tielemans. Dude, Kova's been fucking really good lately. I didn't even talk about him. But
No, yeah, but he
really
Kova,
good.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
He's been better than Nico G.
So
I know.
what about
hate
McGinn?
his
What about
guts,
McGinn?
it's
Joel
Not
McGinn.
putting
McGinn?
him that deep. McGinn, no.
Where are we putting McGinn? Where McGinn's got to
I'm
get
not.
in here.
Put him at right wing.
Ew. No.
Gross,
Right
dude.
mid. Right mid.
Ugh.
No,
No,
he's
so
being in the,
gross.
if I'm putting him anywhere, he's being this 8.
I want
He's
McGinn there
being it.
too. Majority rule.
I'm still taking Gundo over him right now.
Well, the vote. So Mila's opinion has been known and expressed, but the vote says
McGinn.
McGinn will be terrible in this game.
You're probably
Probably.
right, and I'll be
Yeah, but we
praying
got
on
him
his
in the combined
downfall.
11.
But he's so ugly. I feel like he's got to be there.
It's an absolute
even up
passion
there?
machine in the middle, dude.
Put
I mean,
Rodgers there.
Right wing.
Rodgers hasn't
Yeah.
even been playing in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been playing the
Yeah,
right.
because he's a fucking hooper. He just plays
Yeah,
wherever
right.
he wants.
Ah, Jesus Christ! I can't believe I'm about to say this. Put Asensio.
Yep.
The-
Does Marmouche get in this?
Marmouche has to go at the 9.
So it's
I feel
between
like-
Marmouche, Ollie, and Rashford up top. Those are the options.
Marmouche's goal scoring form outside of the last game has been
I agree.
really great.
I'd
So,
have Marmouche.
as good as
I think in a
Watkins and
perfect world, I want
Rashford
to
have
put both of them in.
Who, Marmouche and Rashford?
and
Yeah,
Rashford.
I think if I
Yeah,
if I-
Has Rashford played off the left at all?
he's been. I mean, like when
Yes.
Watkins.
Put him
I
on the
mean,
left.
when he plays
Put
up
him on
top,
the left.
when he
'cause
Yeah,
because when he plays up
Yeah.
top, he drifts out.
Right now,
Um,
Marmouche is playing that like second striker still. Like we're still kind of playing with.
He's
two guys up top.
your one of your in forwards, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless, we could throw him there. But yeah,
Like,
I think Watkins he had a good game against Newcastle. But I mean, I think there's a
That was
reason
it.
Rashford
Well, he hasn't
started.
been
I think
really
there's a
playing,
reason
yeah.
Rashford's starting in the Champions League.
Yeah,
and
and
Rashford again, yeah, he's starting up top, but he
The
finds himself
Newcastle
out
one.
wide quite a bit.
This is crazy.
This is a crazy lineup.
We
yeah.
have 3 players in.
That is nuts.
But, like based off of form, like this really has been Villa over the last. But then you guys won 6, so it's
That's
tough.
been nuts.
It's just the positions that we have for these, like they're not fucking performing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
These are
I don't
the performing players right now.
like if we wanted to, like I wouldn't have any issue switching Konsa out for Gavardio. Like the Villa's defense is not what's got me.
Gvardio's next to him, dumbass.
Gvardio's already on.
Sorry, Diaz
Or
and
Diaz.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Moron.
I just meant that I would take out Konsa if we had
Yes,
to,
yeah.
like there was a
You're not
push
held
and
back.
thing.
Cash doesn't even have to be in there.
It's
To be
not,
honest.
yeah, I mean, like it's like Cash has been very good this season. It's just
No.
that he's been better than our.
You guys have been equally shit in like kind of the similar spots.
Yeah, I think
And-
to what Mila was saying kind of right at the beginning about City, I don't think it's been any individual in particular that's been like unbelievable over this run to really get them back into this top 5,
Yeah.
lock them in. But they've been
They're
getting
just
results,
passionate.
and that's all you need right
wanna
now.
play. Yeah,
They
I mean,
want-
they didn't
they're
give
getting
up in that
results.
Everton game. 4 or 5 weeks ago, we would have
It's an easy
left
game
that
to give up on.
taking nothing.
Very
If
easy game to
anything,
give
we
up.
go down 1-0 and we lose.
No,
But
your guys'
the
your guys'
mentality
defense
shift.
is pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
they're-
mentality thing. The shift in the last 3 to 4 games has been impeccable. It came out of nowhere, and Gundogan even spoke to it that it feels
I saw
different.
that clip.
It definitely does. That they're
I saw
fighting
that.
to the last second to win these games.
Yeah.
It feels like the old City, which is good. Even though a lot of these people are not going to be there next year, it's good to see
Business
that
end.
people are fighting. Yeah, they're fighting. for
Business end of the
badge.
season, they're just getting
And the
results.
cup.
So,
City
Fingers on
fighting
the
for
cup.
Champions League type of stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
kind of used to it at this point. Kind of
You're-
used to it. Yeah, that is a really crazy combined 11 though in terms of just like the idea of it not being like
That's one
heavy.
of the combined 11s of all time.
The fact
no
that we
doubt.
put John McGinn in there after all
You
I've
guys
said
are
about John
sickos.
McGinn this year is fucking hilarious. Really
Oh,
doesn't
I
get
did have a
much better
question
than
about the City game, Mila. I just had a quick one. Do you think we're getting a fee for Broya based on what you saw, or no?
that. I totally.
I don't remember if he did anything. I genuinely don't.
We're not even. We're asking for like
think
5 or
anything.
10, bro. Like nothing crazy.
No.
You think we could get 10 for him?
No, you might have to pay him to come back.
Yeah. I think he
Yeah, but-
was a really talented player, but injuries killed him.
Happens.
These
Yeah.
seals.
The story
It
of
does.
Chills.
Very tough.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah,
All right.
that's all I had.
That was a fun
Score
combined.
predictions?
It's weird. That's
Score predictions?
Star
And
player prediction.
Oh yeah, go for it, Mitt.
Watch out.
Nico O'Reilly,
Nico O'Reilly.
star player. 2-1. Say
Nice. You want to finish this off, Grant? I'll go second.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your time because mine's the easiest. Like
We're gonna go in
you
a
guys,
similar direction.
you guys totally could pick my. You guys already know what's coming.
yeah.
So, star player. Marcus
You know
Rashford.
why I'm here.
This is literally my only job on this podcast is to push Marcus Rashford PR
There's
agendas,
a good
and
chance.
You are his PR.
Unless he's completely given up on United, he goes, I don't care anymore. And he just sits down at half field.
this is such a Marcus Rashford type game. You know what I mean? Like finally picked up
Very
form.
funny if he doesn't get to see a lick of the pitch.
Yeah, they just were like, well, Watkins is fucking
Counting
rolling.
blades of
comes on in
grass.
the 96th minute.
Dude, there's a chance that it happens just based off how good Watkins played. But I'd like to see
Mhm.
Rashford on the left. I think he
I
poses
think
problems.
Emery should know better by now than play the United kid against City. He's
Yeah,
got an
that's-
extra thing to prove.
Simple.
Like,
Yeah,
if it was the other way around, I would want the City guy playing against United.
That's
So
fair. In the form that he's in too, like you kind of just hope that he does stuff.
he's gonna relish the occasion. He enjoys his football again. It should be very like the Rashford
Shows.
shout is not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Rashford
You
star
can watch
player
it and it's a different player.
prediction.
What's the score though? Yeah.
Team that can score a lot but can't really defend well, and team that's been really good defensively but isn't necessarily creating a lot of amazing chances. 3-2 Villa. Yeah. 3-2 Villa.
Mm. So yeah, that was literally what I had in my head. What I would say is Rashford in 3-2, like game. But I knew I had an inkling that you were leaning to a similar direction, so I rethought my analysis. I'm gonna go 2-2 because that's what I want to happen, and I think Tielemans is probably the guy for Villa in this game. Obviously, Rashford, I think, will have a part to play. The script just is too good. But if City go kind of old in the middle again, if Tielemans, given the form he's been in, if he has enough time to just sit there to pass, that can be trouble. So I think Tielemans needs to be a big focus for City. They got to make sure that there's a body on him. Don't make his job easy because he's looked really good.
Yeah, that's probably the most logical shout, right? You could have gone McGinn just to piss off.
No need. We've talked enough about John McGinn today.
McGinn, least impactful player on the pitch.
Look, I'll be ecstatic if he has a terrible game and gets hooked at half. But
dude, I just do not need to see Disassi anywhere near this game. Low-key, he had a monster class at the Etihad last year, but keep him away from this game, dude.
Recently with Villa too, they will look like they're gonna win the game, and then we will join the party later into the game and steal it from them.
Yeah,
just based on the recent meetings in the end of the seasons with them.
Yeah, that's kind of the key for City, right? Is like not you can't let Villa get life early.
I mean, we've done that before. Like it's we won the league off of it. Matty Cash had that early-ish goal.
Yeah,
late winner.
Yeah, no, but this Villa side is really good in terms of depth too. Like you can't like just play him off. Like you used to be able to kind of play him out into the 70s.
They've got answers.
Yeah, now they have different.
We don't have answers either right now, so it'll be a grindy game, I think. And our big boys, the tall guys, the strong guys, are going to play a big part, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think it sums up, like, you know, the meme that it ain't much, but it's honest work. Like, that's Villa's bench now, where it's like Daniel Mallon for the last 15 minutes. Like, yeah, it's not much, but like it's Mallon. Like, it's better than nothing.
He can definitely create something. Oh, Nana off the bench is
absolutely.
Violent,
they've got a really deep team.
Very solid off the bench.
Let's not forget about his year last year. He was.
I know.
For Luton. I mean, he had them almost staying
Jacob
up.
Ramsey off the bench. They are very solid.
Yeah, he gets hooked at halftime like all the time now when he starts, and it's not even to his fault.
He's just not as good as the players around him. Also,
he plays in a forward position.
Talented.
Like, no doubt. But yeah, they've got a loaded. They're loaded in depth for sure.
Yeah, their recruiting process this winter deserves a lot of credit. That's one of the only teams up there with City to actually make moves and do things to enhance and bolster their squad. Like that's why they're in this position.
So, and for these signings in the winter, at least.
Well, yeah, but reliant on them getting Champions League, right? Like that's if they get Champions League, they can kind of figure it out.
Yeah,
I assume that they'll have dudes move on this summer. Like Watkins still feels like a player that's also going to go.
Is
weird.
At
his age, yeah, I think he's gone.
I've seen links to you guys recently, but I don't know if
it doesn't even make sense for United.
I think it only makes sense if Arsenal are interested and you guys go, no, mine.
I'd much rather.
That's our move. That's our move.
Yeah. Can't wait to start dreaming about the transfer.
No, Arsenal are going to pump fake us for Sheshko.
That's
my transfer. That's my transfer prediction because we do that to Arsenal, so they're going to pump fake us.
You guys are. Oh God,
that's an incredible. I don't want him. I don't want him either. But that's how we operate in the transfer window. Someone mentioned it, but yeah, that's what we do to Arsenal.
That's honestly fair. Cool. Are we good to wrap it up? Nice.
Yeah.
Hour 18. Got rid of the guests. Cut it by 15 minutes. Come on, son. Come on, son. Alrighty. No, there was so much to talk about, and hopefully we say it every episode. But the next one.
I'm glad I just wasn't like nonverbal this episode. We were away from that happening. I would have just been sitting there. I don't know, man.
If you were on the iPad still, you would have just been doing the thumbs down to have the rain the entire episode.
Yeah, don't worry. We're saving that episode for next week.
Damn straight, son. All right. Well, from myself, Mila, Grant, C.O.C, Cock, episode 38. It's done. See you in the next one.
Two words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.